right, we got another reporter coming out and saying that he believes the Chicago Bears will most likely keep that draft pick, that #1 overall pick, and take Caleb Williams. Let's talk about it, people. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports All back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL, and here to talk about one of the biggest, if not the biggest, NFL reporters, Adam Schefter, basically saying that he believes that the Bears will take Caleb Williams with that #1 overall pick. So he was on the Waddle and Sylvie show on ESPN 1000, and they asked him about the whole, Caleb versus Justin debate. And he basically said that, do I think the Bears want to trade that pick? No. Do I think they want to take Caleb Williams? Yes. And then, of course, he added, will all of that happen? That's the fun part. We'll find out. But my point is, look, Adam Schefter is now the latest in a list of reporters that are basically all kind of saying the same thing. Remember when I posted the video about Brad Biggs, who is a local reporter for the Chicago Bears, saying that he expects Ryan Poles to keep that pick and take Caleb Williams with that #1 overall pick. So it's honestly becoming more of a common belief now, as in most of the reporters that I hear are basically saying this. I think even Jay Glazer mentioned it today, or maybe he was saying that he believes that they will. Whatever the case is, like, the evidence is becoming overwhelming in the case of the Bears taking Caleb Williams and keeping the #1 overall pick versus keeping Justin Fields. Now, does this mean for sure it's going to happen? No, of course not. Adam Schefter can be wrong. But, man, is it rare. Is it rare? Like, Schefty, he is one of those guys, man, like, he is one of the best in the business. So I don't think he says this unless he has some intel into it. And unless he's obviously talked to some people, talked to his sources. So I think that's kind of where we're at here, people. Regardless of if you're in the Caleb camp or the Justin camp, I think Bears fans are just trying to figure out what's going to happen. And they're preparing themselves. And I feel like I've already kind of gotten there, but I feel like a lot of Bears fans are coming around now to the realization that, yeah, we're probably living in the reality of the Bears taking Caleb Williams with that #1 overall pick. Because I've even heard this on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, man, that all of these reporters, Ryan Poles is telling them to put this stuff out there to kind of, drive up the price for the #1 overall pick. I would just say to that, like, that's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think all of these reporters are just come together and, collaborating to make sure that, the Bears' #1 pick gets as much value if it gets traded or whatnot. I don't think they're lying about their sources. Like, again, these are not just some Joe Schmoes. If these were some just reporters we haven't heard of, fine. But we're talking about the biggest reporters in the game, right? So like, at that point, you got to just say, all right, it probably is true. It probably is true. And so I'm not surprised. I told you I'm already here. I'm already at this side where I'm kind of in that reality of, hey, we're probably going to take Caleb. It's going to happen. But it's just still always interesting to see. There's still a non-zero chance, that we keep Justin and trade the pick. But as we get closer and closer to the draft, folks, like, I don't know if that world is going to exist, if that possibility is going to exist the closer we get. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense. All of these reporters are all saying the same thing, and it's just like, all right, just pick up on it. Just pick up on it. And I'll tell you this, all right? I've mentioned this before, but I think this point is very, very important for a lot of people to understand. All right? I think this part gets misconstrued more than anything. I feel like the biggest underlying reason that people aren't talking about why the Bears will take Caleb, and it's not that this is something new I'm saying, I'm just saying it's been like kind of, not as, highlighted. It's been really brought down. Like, people aren't mentioning as much as they should, which is, it's not about Caleb versus Justin. It's about Ryan Poles getting a shot to extend his window, which is, hey, even if I like Justin, I got to make a decision on the kid, and then I got to pay him, which has its own ramifications. But if I take Caleb, I get a brand new, 4-year lifespan, kind of a 4 or 5 year lifespan on a rookie contract. And that gives me more job stability. It lets me go ahead and obviously get a few more years here versus, hey, if Justin is the guy that I go ahead and I pick up his 5th-year option, I pay the kid, but he completely busts. I'm just saying, if he does, am I fired? Am I out of a job? So my point is, like, that business aspect, very important. It's not Caleb versus Justin, who's a better football player. Not that. It's thinking like a businessman, thinking like Ryan Poles, like a general manager of what is going to make more sense for him. And I feel like resetting it, not having to make that decision, that is probably the biggest reason why I feel like this is going to happen. So yeah, man, the biggest reporter in the game says that he expects the Bears to take 11. I didn't come out and officially report it, oh, that is what's going to happen, but he ain't giving out his opinions unless he's sourced on it, unless he's talked to people on it. That's what he feels, and that's what he said. So let me know what you guys think, man. Are you guys already coming to that realization? Are you there yet? Or you still feel like this is all a smoke screen? Like, where are you guys at with this? Let me know down below in the comments, as always. Thanks for watching.